Hello. Just on a bit early, setting up. Bit nervous. So I can't see who's here. Let's have a look. Thanks for joining. As usual, I'm a bit unprepared. How is everyone this morning? Let's put that up. I'll put that on there. Let's have a look. Good morning. Give us a good morning. Let me know who's there. Because I can't see who's on. I'm great, thank you. Before I get started, wait for some more. I'm a bit early. And what we'll do is we'll do a little meditation to ground and root us. I did this on Instagram yesterday and it was really, really nice. Oh, let's open a window. Hiya Gemma. So lovely meeting you. So today I'm going to build the altar on my table. So I've got a big clear space for you all to look at. And then as I talk, when I start building, I'll point the camera that way. So, what time is it? Let me have a look. Nearly there. Morning, Deborah. Are we ready for this? I have asked some of you to get some bits to do your own altars. So some of you have and some of you haven't, but it's not a problem. I am dressed in my finery today because I am building an altar for Goddess Oshun today. So it's always good to have an intent behind. And Goddess Oshun is the goddess of love, creation, creativity, sensuality, and she likes those, to honour her, to dress a bit sensual. So today, I was like, right, may as well get a bit sensual on a Sunday. So this is a little tip as well. When you're creating your altar, it's always good to set the mood. Maybe in the clothes you wear, usually I can wear white, and white is for purity, so it's quite sort of, I don't know, it's very respectful. I'm not saying this is any less respectful, but it's, if I'm doing it for my ancestors, I'll dress in white. But clothes can be very reflective as well. So what I want to do first of all is I'm going to get us to go through some breathing just to calm myself down. And we'll ground ourselves this morning. Whew. So if you've had any ceremonies or any healing work with me, you know that I like to do the 4, 4 and 6, and it's taking that breath in through the nose and it's filling the stomach up like a balloon, and then it's exhaling and it's releasing and letting go. So we're going to shake off, if we've woke up feeling bouncy and happy, we're going to energize that feeling. And if we've woke up a bit sad this morning, we're going to shake that off and connect ourselves. So, right, I'm a bit worried about this top. Are we ready? So we're just going to give it a little practice run. I'll do count you in at 3 and we're going to breathe in and I'll count you in. So 1, 2, 3 and breathe in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4 and release slowly. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And breathe in slowly. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4 and release slowly. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And one more. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4 and release. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I can feel your energies coming through now. I can feel you're starting to relax. We just want to connect to ourselves. Take a nice deep breath in. Feel the tension easing out of us. Because this is all about creating this altar, is about connecting with ourselves and connecting with spirit. By doing so, we can get that guidance. So we're going to connect to Mother Earth now, and we do this by visualization. So we want to focus on the feet, and we want to focus on some energies just coming out with roots. So we're connecting ourselves and we're visualizing the roots from a tree growing out of our feet. And as it grows, it winds and it moves and it pierces through the soil, and just visualize the soil moving apart. And as it moves apart, your roots go deeper and deeper and deeper. And you connect to Gaia, and you can feel that energy now rising up and up and up within you. And you can feel that connection. And we can do this at any time, as I always say. It's a good way to keep yourself grounded. If you're feeling a bit wobbly, it can reconnect us. It can help us to connect to Mother Earth. There's free energy everywhere. I go on about energy a lot, but energy exists in everything, and so we can utilize it and use it. So we've connected ourselves now. So I decided, I've done this, created an altar for another group before, and I thought it would be really nice and locked down as these emotions bubble and come to the surface. It would be really nice to show you that it's not something airy-fairy. There is a bit of science to it, and I go on about goddesses a lot and I go on about altars a lot, but I'm going to show you why I do it and why I use it. It's got a lot to do with psyche, and it's a lot to do with psychologically healing and working through anything that needs to be worked through. So today, altar is a place that is held in reverence. So we see it in churches, it will be at the front. We see it in many different places of worship, and it's a focus point, and that's what I want to get across to you today. It's a focus point for intention. So whether it's something we do every now, we do without realising. It can be something like lighting a candle for those that have passed. But I'm going to show you how to create and help certain areas of your life. So today, Goddess Oshun, I don't know, I work a lot by myself, so what I get is what I receive, but Goddess Oshun seems to have chosen me to work with her, and from the sunflowers that are all around my house, I'm guessing she's always been there. And a bit like how Cacao's chosen me, she's the goddess of love and sensuality and creation. And so this morning I woke up and I knew that I was going to do an altar for her, because I woke up feeling a bit sad. It is a time at the moment where we're having, like I said, when a pan bubbles, it brings like any scum that's in there to the surface. And at the moment, the energies are bubbling and they're bringing what doesn't serve us to the surface. And you can think you love yourself as many times, and we know what the spiral's like. It goes back around and around. And then all of a sudden it hits you, and you have maybe a feel of longing or a feeling of loneliness. And it hits you and you realise, actually, I haven't dealt with as much as I could. So I'm going to tap into the Goddess Oshun energies and explain to you why, and explain to you the things I'm using. And maybe you can set your intention now and why you want to use what you use. So I'm just going to give a little background on how I started. I started to get into building, and I noticed that I had built an altar without even knowing. I noticed I had created this space, and it was about 5-6 years ago. And I was reading a book on witches and women through history, and I'm reading it, and it's talking about altars, and I look up and I realised that I had created this without even knowing. And as time developed, I started to walk towards, I'd stand next to it, and I would feel the energies coming off it, and it would make me cry, instantly make me cry. It's something that happens to some people sometimes. They start to cry because it's that feeling of source. It's the feeling you can feel the energies of the universe, and it's so overwhelming. It instantly reduces you to tears. I get that now and then, not as much as I used to, but I get it now and then. And so I was working a lot with Goddess Freya at the time, not purposely knowing how working with energies worked. And I started to have that connection, and I've recently posted a photo of me in shackles. And around that time, I did a lot of photos, and I started to accept my body. I started to accept myself through working with Goddess Freya energies. All these things started happening and coming into my life. And I was able to do these photo shoots, and becoming pregnant at the age of 15 and then being a mum at the age of 16, my body never had time to develop into I don't know, just being a teenager and enjoying the curves. It went straight to mother. My breasts were used for breastfeeding. I got pregnant on my first time, so I'd never really had sexuality through my body, and it went straight on to being a mum's body. So working with the goddess energies and allowed me to accept my body for being the woman that I am, and it released me and it freed me. 6 years down the line, I'm still freeing myself, and that just shows that it's not about the destination, it's the journey. It takes its time. Slow and steady wins the race. So that's just a little example of how energies can work. And when I talk about the goddess, I'm talking about archetypes of energy, and Carl Jung did the same thing. He knew about these archetypes of energy, but when I talk about goddesses, it's about tapping into that archetype of energy that maybe will serve you. So I'm tapping into Goddess Oshun. Some of you recently, I'm wondering if I should pull a card. Let me have a look, see if my cards are about. Let's pull a little collective card. Are they about? Yeah, they're about. So you lot know I love my goddess cards. This is going to be, this is a bit like a sort of workshop, so it's no quick. So if you're here, thank you very much. So I have got one. It's called Relationships, Lady of the Beast. And if I don't pronounce words properly when I read it out, this is the one. Spirit's saying this is the one. I'm shuffling. So relationships can be... I quite love the fact that she's pregnant there. She's surrounded by the bear and a horse and a wolf, all these animals. And then there's the moon cycles as well. So it's really beautiful. It's tapping into them feminine energies that I feel are really intense at the moment. This is about loving ourselves and acceptance, you know, it really, really is. So, Lady of the Beast. I always read because the book is so great, there's no point in plagiarising. Right, not plagiarising, that's the wrong word. That's when you do copy. Right. I desire union in ways comfortable and appropriate. I open to the dance with another, knowing that it will take me to all the places I fear. Some of the places I love, many of the places that need healing. I listen with the ears of my heart and communicate from a place of self-knowing. I consciously give myself away and know how to take myself back. I see myself reflected so perfectly in the other that I begin my most important journey to seek out and claim more of who I am. I know there's a couple of you out there this is going to be hitting home to. Give me a little, yeah. So, the goddess as Lady of Beasts was known to the people of Summer, Crete, and the Indus Valley, India. Her name is largely unknown because worship of her predated writing. She was also known as the cosmic creatrix, the creative, the fertile, the life-giving force. Her special animals were held sacred as manifestations of the deity herself. She is depicted here pregnant, surrounded by pregnant animals, which speaks of her as a powerful fertility figure. She usually appears enthroned with a lion at her side, indicating sovereignty and strength. So, a brilliant card for us to all tap into. So I'm just going to read the meaning of the card, but I wanted to give you another little look. So, Lady the Beast walks slowly and serenely into your life to tell you it's time to focus on creating supportive and nurturing relationships with your unborn child, with the animals in your life, a lover, family, friends and co-workers. Relating to others enables you to look at the parts of yourself that you don't ordinarily see. Relationships are the mirror in which you can see who you really are. Wholeness is nourished when you see who you really are. Accept what you see and strive to heal what needs to be healed. Are you in a relationship that presses all your buttons, brings up all your issues, leaves you feeling like a woman on the verge of a nervous breakdown? If both or all of you are committed to doing the work, willing to accept your pieces, your responsibility, this could be a goldmine. Perhaps you're in an abusive relationship, one that keeps hurting and hurting with no redeeming factors, or one in which your partner is not looking at issues. This could be time to gather your strength, lick your wounds and move on. Perhaps better communication or acceptance could help your relationship. If you are contemplating a relationship, this is the time to open and engage. Lady the Beast says the dance of the relationship is the fast track to evolving consciousness and personal power. It is joyful, painful, frustrating, exhilarating, annihilating and completely worth it. What an excellent card. It requires us to open our wounds. It requires us to go forward in our relationships with love. And by doing so, we then show that love to ourselves. The thing is, if we lock ourselves up emotionally, And the only harm that's doing, it feels like we may be protecting ourselves, but the only harm that's doing is to ourselves. And then that can lead to us continually gaining, basically, law of attraction. We put out, we get back what we put out. So it's really important to show self-love. And I really like that card. It's very nice. I haven't pulled it in a very long time. So this building the altar session is about self-love, really. As I said, I didn't wake up feeling too great, and Goddess Oshun, she came to me and said, build this altar. And so as we build, I'm going to talk and go through about the strength of energies that I will be needing or wanting. So I've got my cacao as well, because, you know, got to pull out all the stops. And right, I'm just going to move the camera. If you've got your own altar stuff at home, get prepared, get it all ready. Let's see. Let's put it there. All right. So when we're starting to build an altar, we need an intention, as I've discussed. It's setting an intention. So for me, it's walking into, I'm working with Oshun, and she's about embracing the sensuality. She's about love and creation. And it's very much a feminine aspect and energy. And with creation, it enables us to open to the intuitive side of ourselves. So I usually use fresh flowers, and I have got some fresh flowers as well. But Goddess Oshun is all about the sunflowers. And I'll do it this big. I've got another one as well. So I have got some fake ones because we're in the season where the sunflowers aren't forming. But I've also some dry ones. It's really good to, I dry a lot of flowers, or if the flowers come to the end of the life, I'll basically take the petals and I'll save them and I'll use them for another time. So I work with colour a lot. So what flowers have we got here? It's called the Sunshine Bouquet, and it made me happy when I saw it, and I like the fact that it had these thistles inside it. Now thistles are very interesting because they're quite a negative flower. Thistles are considered a flower, but they also have a positive side, and it's a bit reflective of us, and I think we need to embrace this. So I really like having thistles around. So we're going to work with intent. So start to think about your intent on why you're creating what you're about to create. If you have got your altar stuff with you. So what are we looking to do? Are we looking to work on some assets of ourselves? Or are we just honouring and paying respect to maybe those that have passed? Let's have a little think of how we're going forward. For me, it's a bit of self-love. A lot of self-love. You know, there's been, since this lockdown, there's been a bit of a feeling of loneliness, and it's wanting to open up and go ahead, and it's working through the barriers of doing that. So building an altar can help work through this shadow work. So it's also good if you're working with a certain goddess, because we're working with certain goddesses, remember, so we can work with certain energies. It's good to do a bit of research on the goddess and what that goddess likes, because these goddesses Oshun's from West Africa. And let me tell you the story about Oshun, because Oshun is seen, Goddess Oshun is seen, she wears all yellow and gold, and she has beads and lots of jewellery and necklaces, and she has a fan, which I am making a feathered fan for her, a fan, and she has a mirror. So there is a bit of vanity there. So the story is that she was one of the gods that came down to create Earth, and she was the only female deity that came down to Earth. And so the men took over and they created, and they didn't really give her a look in. And she quite humbly just snuck off. She just went away and took herself to the moon. Rather than us women, if we don't get a look in, we like to tell everyone exactly how we're feeling. She didn't say anything. She just took herself off because she knew that she was sort of worth a lot more, and she knew if they needed her, they would come. How very reflective, eh? And so she took herself off to the moon, and they created and created, and they realised that something was lacking, something was missing. And it just wasn't working. There was an essence, there was no growth that was there. And one of the gods, he realised that she was missing. And so they headed to the moon and they found her and they begged her to come back. And when she came back, she bestowed her beauty, her creation, her vitality, and beauty was bestowed upon the earth, and things began to grow and flourish. And I think I love that story because she just was very patient. She was very humble. She sat up on that moon with her mirror, just chilling out, full of vanity. But the mirror, for me, it is known that because this is what I like about the gods and goddesses as well, is that they have very human attributes. So it's easy to pick one. They're very relatable, very down to earth in that sort of way. So she is known for, and there's a lot of gods that are known for creation are also known for destruction, and they hold these negative traits. And this is why they're used as archetypes for us. So she has this mirror, and she's meant to be known for being vain. But also the mirror, I like to think, this is something I recently thought about, that it just holds, when we look in the mirror and really truly look at ourselves, we can look at all aspects of ourselves. And it's a bit like the thistle. It has the good qualities and the bad qualities. And it's like, well, what is your intention in it? Or what am I gonna... I'm using the thistles, I'm using it as a reminder there that I can either go one way if my thoughts lead me there, or I can go another way. And I think the mirrors that Goddess Oshun holds is a bit like that as well. It's like a mirror to ourselves, and our thoughts, create, and it's what way are we going to allow our thoughts to lead us. So, God, I can chat. Right. And then, so it's about, we'll get back to the altar. It's about looking at these things. So I know she likes this. I'm going to get her a bit of honey because she likes a bit of honey. And from around the world, a lot of countries, when it comes to altars, they'll plate them up with food as well and give offerings to the food as food. So I like using roses all the time for everything because it's a love energy, So I've got a little plate there. Kids aren't eating around the table for dinner this week. Let's move that back a bit. So we're going to put some of that on. What else does Oshun? Oshun is known for her bells. So, I love that bell. So I've got a bell there as a representation. I'm just going to get her a little cup of cacao. As it may seem silly to be given an energy, all these things, but everything carries energy, remember, and it's love. If you can show love for this goddess energy, this archetype, it's towards you showing love to a part of yourself, and this is what it's about. Okay, so I work with cacao a lot. I've got my cup of cacao here. It's quite a big one, so I've got her a nice cup of cacao. And this, I just walk around the shops. How cute is that? I just walk around the shops and I get these little things that I find, you know, these second-hand shops, these emporiums. And I think when something's been owned by others, it carries so much more energy, so it's really nice. Right, so scissors. When I'm working with fresh flowers, I always thank them. I thank them as I cut them. So it's just showing your appreciation for the gift. That you're grateful. Oh, this is going to be, I can feel the love. This is going to be a lovely, lovely altar. So showing your appreciation, showing your love for their little sacrifice, you know. By doing the flowers, we're also, it's a way of being loving. It's also a way of, it's a nice offering. You're making the altar beautiful. You're doing it for someone that's passed. So I just like, usually I have a song on as well. There's a song that I always, there'll be a tune that I always use. Thank you. So we're going to start with the white. And the white's a really good colour to represent spirit. And I never know what I'm going to do. If you're a planning type, this is time for you to let go. Just let go, and you're tapping into the energies. You're just working with how you feel. Yeah, put that on there. And so if you've got your altar with you, put them in there for now. So I've also created an oil, so I'm just going to get a candle. With ceremonies I create an oil, and I also create a bag of herbs. And so inside, I created this a while ago, so I can't remember what I put in. But, so there's some sunflower petals, which I actually charged up in the sun back in summer. I've got some rose petals. What else is in here? Some lavender. Oh, I wonder where that went. I've also, because we're using archetype that's got a little, been looking for this for ages. It's an Archangel Michael, so it's there for protection. You can order these little things, do you know what I mean, online, or get them from somewhere local. So there's quite a lot of other stuff in there, and there is some essential oils as well. I think she likes cinnamon, a bit of cinnamon in there, I think, some bitter orange essential oil, and maybe some blue lotus for the love. It's a really nice one. So let me see. I don't know if I turn the camera sideways. There, that's better. Oh, it's saying I can't turn it because it's sideways. That's all right. Hopefully you can see it all right. Let's put it like that. Right. So, I actually haven't yet got a representation of Oshun. But what I'm going to do, I'm just going to place, 3 is the magic number, so I tend to work in 3s, but I've got 3 dried sunflowers, so you're also, when you're working, thinking about numbers. I don't know if any of you have gone into numbers yet and their meanings. But we're thinking about numbers. So I've got some dried sage here as well. So sage, as you know, is a really nice cleansing. Oh, that's strong. And I should I'm going to put some charcoal on. I'm going to discuss smudging quickly. So when you're doing this, you can be smudging and having something burning if you want, just to cleanse and clear the air. I do actually clean down before I start. So there's always smudge going in my house, so it's pretty clean. But staple thing I buy is these charcoal briquettes. Let me quickly go and light it. So how are you all getting on with your altar? Some of you building at the moment? Let us know how you're doing. Right, as I said, I create an oil. So where is this oil? There it is. I'm not quite sure what I've got in it because it's called I always name it, and this is called a joyful river splash because Oshun, goddess Oshun, is the river goddess. And I recently done a little river shoot. We sort of got connected after that. A lot of things happen without my know-how, and then all of a sudden it just fits into place. So I created this oil, and each ingredient has an intention behind it. Just like this altar, we're working with intention. That is magic. Magic is created by belief, and it's created by intention. And it works this way in a metaphysical sort of way. So we are the creators of our universe, and we can create this magic. So the intention behind this oil is joy and laughter, because Oshun is known for her laughing. And I've actually developed a ceremony where there's a lot of dancing, a lot of laughter, and a lot of self-love. So I'm going to get this oil. I'm just going to get some water so we can get some... We're working with the senses here. I'm going blind from the smoke, from the charcoal. Oh. We're working with the senses here. So we got smell. We're going to smudge. There's something there to taste. It's also good to bring the elements in, so I'm going to bring the water. When I had my shoot, I took some water from the river, so I do have some of that water. I'm just going to go and get that. reuse your jars for any herbs you get or anything. I haven't taken the label off this, but so what I'm going to do is, this is some river water. Look like a right witch collecting this, so I'm going to add it. The river is known as the connection to spirit world in Africa. We're going to put some more flowers on in a minute. Oh, thank you so much. Just looking at the messages. So I'm also going to use some of the river water for my incense. And this is where I am a bit witchy when it comes to this sort of stuff. This is when a magic's created. We're creating a magic for the energy. So if you're going down the beach and you happen to say a little prayer or you give your thanks, take some of the water, because we can use that. I'm just going to light this candle. Remember, we're not caring what people think of what we're doing. You know, this is about healing ourselves. It's about intention and creating. And it's quite an enjoyable thing to create such beauty. So I'm doing it on a table, but you can do a tray. I know Deborah went and brought a tray. She's got a bloody lovely tray. I've been after a metal one for ages. And so we have our scent here that I've created. We've got our herbs. I always recommend every herb has a magical property, which is intention. It's energy. As you're creating, you're using thought, you're using energy to create, and intention. If I'm using Oshun and what I'm creating is love and I'm creating sensuality, what I'm putting into them herbs is going to help, which is why when I give away herbs, they tend to be, rather than you ingesting, it's like put it under your pillow or something, because I just visualize everything quite metaphysically. I see energy. It's all very quite sci-fi. And so that bag under your bed, the vibration and the frequency that works with it is going to work with you. By you allowing yourself to open and receive, it allows you to receive the energies that I've put in. Right, there's been a lot of fire recently around a lot of the cards I've been doing on my sign. There's been a bit of aggression and fire. These are the shadow side of ourselves. So when I went to the medicine festival, they burned a fire dragon that they made out of wood, and we were invited to take some ash. So now and then I will use this for my altar. There were prayers weaved into that dragon that was built out of like twigs and sticks. I can't remember what bark or wood it was. So I'm using that. All them people's wonderful prayers, all the wonderful intention. So we're working with a fire dragon. So I've brought these elements into it. We're working in threes. It seems to be going three. So we've got the cacao, we've got the water, and we have got the earth, the ash. So we've got the elements here. And I like to use a feather as well. But air. So we're acknowledging and respecting nature here. I'm going to put that. I need to get a candle. Where's the candle? I usually put quite a lot of candles, but I'm just going to do one. Can't find it anywhere. Let's have a look. I'm going to put more flowers on as well. It's just a thing that you're going to build up. There's no rush, you know. As you build it up, your intention is going in and it's creating. Oh, there it is. So we just want to put some light, some fire into this. And it is forming a shape. Probably should have moved all the back of it. There we go. And so you're starting to create a shape as well. And I've got some honey, which I'm going to drop into the cacao. Because she loves her honey. So when it comes to smudging, you know you've got sage, you've got copal, sage, copal, Palo Santo, but I mainly use that for energizing. We've got our Florida water, which is a staple must. It's always good to give yourself a little auric cleanse down. Right. I'm going to put some more flowers now. Do I want some different colours? So the colours I'm working with are white. I've also got a lot of yellow and orange. So we're working with the sacral chakra. And the sacral chakra is all about and the solar plexus with the yellow, it's about our support system, the sacral chakra. It'll be about our fathers. It'll be about how supported we feel. There's a lot of everything happening in threes today. There's 3 of these. I think I'm going to stick them in here. 3 of these. And so yellow represents our solar plexus, which is our inner child. So it's where we need to go for inner child work. If you're drawn to certain colours, there's a reason why you're drawn to certain colours. So I'm just going to start to just beautify it a bit more. I think I'm going to put that over there before I end up. That's it. Do you know what? I had that oil burner for years and never used it, and I've used it so much recently. It's funny how you can have things and they're there waiting and ready. They're just waiting for you to step into your path. And there are 3 African ladies on it. And lately I've been connecting with my ancestry. And my mum's from Belize, which is Central America. Her dad is half Indian. My dad is from Guyana, which is South America. And there's meant to be some Chinese on our side of the family there. So we have all, my great granddad is white, I found out, which I've had a lot of Celtic, Viking as well, North European flashbacks happen for me. So I embrace all that I am and I honour those before me as I'm creating. Because I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for them. And we really need to love and appreciate the life we have. Because others have had it so much more worse than what we have. So the thistles are going on now. And there's 3 of these also. You'll notice as well, when you're putting flowers, you have the exact right amount for your arrangement. It sort of always works out like that. So I always have stones and shells on my table anyway. There's sort of a permanent altar. And I just want to put some pine cones, because we've got the pine cones are just dropped from the trees, and we've got that going on, that element. We're bringing the nature that we've gone out and explored. And because we live by a beach and Goddess Ocean likes shells, we put some shells out. And leads me into elementals. All these objects, they're there to heal us. They contain energy to heal us. If you're into the elementals, you have the stone people. I use a lot of hag stones that I find from the beach. Let me find one. Well, I've got one. Let me find one. So this is a hag stone. It's a stone where water has formed over time, a perfectly good hole. It's amazing, right? So I go down the beach and I collect these. I usually put them on my altar. If you're having a ceremony, I'll charge these stones up with your energies and you'll go home with them. They're protection stones, hag stones. You can see fairies through them apparently. So we're going to put some of them up. Well, not apparently, if you have that abilities, they're really good for seeing fairies. We have all these magical elements around us. So there's another hag stone. So I've got quite a few, and it's good if you can go and collect these off the beach, because it sort of gets you out and about. So it's just making it that more natural. Right, this charcoal's ready, so we're ready for a smudge. Get some smoke flowing. Like I said, I use copal, so this smokes quite heavily. So today I have created, with my cacao, I've used plant medicine, bobbin sana, and at the moment my heart feels like it's going to burst. So it's really working very nicely. One thing I haven't done as well, I always use the oil, is when I create an oil and I'm doing ceremony, as you'll know, I'll get you to put a bit of oil on your hands, and then we rub our hands together and we breathe it in. It's another way of connecting with them energies. Trying to think if I need more. So I'm going to put some of these little green flowers next to the white ones, because they're like white and green, these ones. You can make it as simple as you want, or you can overdo it. There's no wrong or right way. This is your creation. I'm just showing you some elements that I bring in to create a bit of magic. So for me, this is about self-love. It's about realizing from where I find a lack in my life, it means that I have to go within and look at myself and love a bit deeper, a bit more. Look at maybe why there are these patterns where I don't feel like I'm worthy. And I don't feel like this all the time. It goes up and down. Such is life. It's the spiral. you think that we've done so much work and that's it, and then, like I said in the beginning, it drags up these things to be dealt with, because we want to be living in our truth. This is what this is about, living in our truth. So, got to try not... That one's there. Oh, it's very lovely. So I'm focusing and concentrating on the energies. You may have thoughts arise from your childhood as you're creating. You might have thoughts arise, like the card I pulled was about relationships. And the relationships that we formed recently. What thoughts are arising about that? Are we doing ourselves a disservice by not thinking of our worth? Are we treating others how we want to be treated? So I always use breath for smudging because we hold that frequency in our breath. I mean, if you haven't got any, like for smudging cards and for stuff like this. So for smudging cards, I would just use my breath, because you know your breath is always with you and you just put that intent. But if I'm smudging a person with a copal or something, I always use my breath as well. Where have I put the copal? I'm just going to show you what it looks like if you've never heard of it or come across it. It's a resin from a tree. It burns very heavily. It's really good to smudge. When I smudge, I tend to, this little bowl I have here, I'll break it off and put it in there. Because if you've got a stick of smudge, apparently, I don't know, but it seems to resonate with me that the energy that you're using it for will be used with the whole stick. So it's a case that you can't use it on anything else. So I just tend to break bits off, put it in the bowl, and then light it and then blow it if sage is your thing. And then I've just got a nice singing bowl here, which is it's towards the heart chakra. So if anything, I'm just tuning in them frequencies with this altar I've created. For me, I have the snake. It's always a symbolism of creation and growth and moving forwards. When I did the ayahuasca, she was there. And if I go into spirit realm, I'm the feathered serpent. So for me, I'm just putting that up. I'm not sure if you can hear that. So I'm working with energies here, and this is what we're doing when we're creating an altar. We're working with the energies, and just be guided by your intuition. It's allow yourself. It's a form of meditation, really. I'm going to put some conkers out because you know I've collected a lot of conkers. looking like a mad woman at the side of the road. And some of the stuff, once we've done with the altar, if you've got a garden, return it to the earth. We don't want anyone else picking up it, what we've used, and messing with it, because it holds energies. This is going to act in drawing what we no longer serves us away from us, but also giving. And it's recycling. Energy never dies, so it's recycling, and so we want to give it back to the earth. I'm going to get crystals. So I've got a bit of aventurine. That's what I've been drawn to lately. It's a selenite one there, which is great. Don't know if that's going to mess with my head because it's not parallel. Let me have a look. Let's put it there. Let's move this round. So, show you around what's been created. And we're going to work with some amethyst as well, because that's been coming in strongly at the moment. So I can't actually see what you can see, but I'm just going to make my way around the table so you can see the little elements that are being used here. Oh. Right. I think. So look. I think I'm going to leave it there. So, how have you all got along with that? How are you doing, Deborah? Have you managed to create? Oh, lovely. Do you want to share what energies you're working with today? Or are you going to keep that private? Oh, well done. Oh, lovely. Okay then. So, as you can see, we've created this, and now I can sit in front of it in a bit and I'll meditate. And I'll ask for them energies of love to be brought forward to me, for me to be accepting that I am a lovable being, that I am a being of love, and that I can give love to others, you know. I can take away that judgment that we use as a self-protection mechanism. And it's about unconditional love. So it's loving others whether they return that love. And in doing so, we love the darkest parts of ourselves that we think are unlovable. All parts of ourselves are lovable. Just remember that, okay? It's all about self-acceptance, and all parts of ourselves are worthy and deserving of love. So during this lockdown, if you're not working, it's a good time to date yourself. I've been telling everyone, we're going to date ourselves. That's what we're going to do. We're going to treat ourselves good. We're going to cook good food for ourselves. We're going to relate to ourselves just as good. I don't know if you get that little That's from the Nutty Professor, that little relate to ourselves. If you've seen it, then you know. Yeah, this is about finding that time, finding that peace within. And it's about coming forward with love. So when we come out of this, we can attract all the great things while we're here. But when we come out of this, you know, and we're ready to immerse ourselves back into society, we're going to bring forward the career paths that we need. We're going to bring forward the people that should be around us in our life, the relationships. As the lady, the beast said, you know, it's all about the relationships. We're here on earth to not be alone. We're here to be loved and have people around us. So thank you very much for those of you that joined and stayed and listened to me rabbit on. I'm feeling a bit buzzed from my cacao. So what I'm going to do is put some music on and do some dancing. And I think we should all do that. Put some music on, do some dancing and enjoy your Sunday. Because that's what Sundays are for. They're for Sunday fun days. So thank you, everyone. I'm surprised I didn't fall out my top. So that's a bonus for me. And I hope you would carry on enjoying making your altars, and this has given you some food for thought. Okay, take care, and if you need anything, just hit my inbox up. I'm always here to divulge any information. Sharing is caring, and every time I learn something, I love sharing with you all. Right, I'm gonna go before I just waffle on about nothingness. But it was really nice spending my Sunday mornings with you, and maybe we can do this in another time on another subject in a room or something, so I can have that interaction with you all. But take care and thank you.